praise the Lord that He allowed us to see and be able to connect and touch with compassion. That's what Jesus did. He saw the pain that people went through. He was able to touch. Let's give Sister Carrie Ann another hand for her wonderful contribution and her blessing. And I know she is certainly anointed with that spirit that she has in her gift. So now I want to transition to just talk a little about the spirituals and how what we come to appreciate is, we'll say, gospel or Negro spiritual or Black gospel music. So basically the history of what we come to enjoy as gospel music started years ago in slavery time. And for slaves, because I'm going to sort of embrace our ancestors. Their spirit is that what we were struggling to even just survive. We're doing that now, but in that way. We were limited at what we could see, we could associate, what we can say. And oftentimes we had, as slaves, we developed our own language, our own communication medium, so we can communicate with each other. And oftentimes with the slave masters and those who were observers, if they saw two of us together whispering, right away they thought we were suspicious, that you're trying to plot. You're trying to, because they, meaning the enemy, they were always putting themselves on edge. What are they talking about? What are you doing? What are you trying to do? And so we developed our way of communicating at a distance. But also we took the English language, and remember, years ago, we came with our own tribal language. So we had who were you from? We had to develop our own way of communicating. And so what we did is we developed these communication mediums, the way we communicated. But we did it in such a way that those who spoke the Queen's English couldn't understand what we were saying. And so I may be in a field as a slave, and you may be on that side of the field. And someone may be further out. And so our expression was the singing. What we brought from Africa was that rhythm that's in us, that beat, that spirit of connecting. And we always had that ability to connect with each other and see each other for who we are. We're brothers and sisters in that. So in those days, we figured a way to communicate. And we turned it into ways we enjoyed, was able to verbalize those things, understand each other, and add a beat to it. And that motivated us to do our work, to make our moves. And that's something that's like a gene, it's like within us. So we as people of color, we're just rhythmic beings, big time, even in our walk. We walk differently. Right? We got our walk. Like I see brother Pastor Allen, he got that walk. He goes like this. And that's a rhythm. That's a rhythm. So we're not communicating with this. So if I was on that side of the field, and we're plotting, we're planning our escape. We want to seek that freedom. We didn't enjoy that bondage, obviously. So we came up with songs like, "Who's that over yonder?" And Brother Robert would say, "It's only little me," like that. And so, but the slave masters, they didn't know because I returned our language, so they went, "Who that yonder? Who over yonder?" And so they thought, "You're making noise, making all these sounds." And so they began planning, and planning was strategic. And obviously they were guided by God, guided by leaders who God would put in place. Because again, we, if children of God, we believe that we're the seed of Abraham. And they say history repeats itself. So the children of Israel were in bondage for a long time. We were in bondage for 400 years. And so this is an opportunity to come out of that. So we figured ways to come out. He says, one of these mornings, it won't be long. You'll look for me, and I'll be gone. And so that was another. You're gonna look for me. I'm not gonna be in that shack you thought I was gonna be. I'm gonna be gone. But they didn't know what we were talking about. And so then as times progressed, we got more sophisticated in our planning. So came up with songs like, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the waters and away in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. And then they turn to another verse. Who's there yonder waiting for me? God's gonna trouble the water. It must be the children of the Israelites. Must gonna trouble the water. And so they said waiting. So they're like speaking really loud. They say, and some say wade, like go like, just taking the time to go along with the waves. And some people say it's like wait. It's like pause. Like wait on the Lord. Just wait. And if those who understood it as an interpretation of wait, it was like you're in the water and you wait because the hound dogs that were released, they would lose the scent. They couldn't smell you because you're in the water. And they waited. And they waited until they continued. And then they continued on. And so then they progressed until they reached that place of freedom. And so that they got together. Freedom, whoa, freedom, freedom over me, and before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go on with my Lord and be free. So they had that experience. They were so committed and so committed to that cause. They'd rather die than to be a slave. And that's how we should be committed to Jesus. Jesus said, you lose your life for my sake, you'll get it again. So we sacrifice. So we're in the army of the Lord. So we're willing to do that. So that's kind of like in a nutshell. So over time, that became, with the rhythm, the understanding, and people became free. They can now join their voices together. And so from that, they got into other ways of expressing themselves. So from that went to blues. Blues, we say, is like telling a sad story, but with feeling and emotion. And so a blues in terms of musically is like bending the notes. Like, I took the song. I'll be worried no more when Jesus opened that sweet door and welcome me in his home to be free. And so forth and so on. Like, so it comes out and then brings out now the younger people. They want to move more because they're free. And like that. So they move on to the different forms of dance. And so then we can express ourselves in a way. And so that evolved into rap, R&B, rock and roll. So all these things are, again, a generation. It's really about expressing ourselves. As did David. David expressed himself in songs, which are like a poem. Some of them rhyme even. So that's in a nutshell about the spiritual. So we embrace that because it allowed us to dig deep into our soul and express that, what was going on. And to tell that story. So thank you for that.